Hi Sneha, welcome to the YouTube live. Welcome everybody. So for those who don't know Sneha, she is one of the top data scientists at Nielsen. She has also previously worked with L&T. So from being a software engineer to a data scientist, she has made a massive transition in her career already, which we will be discussing today in our live. Moreover, she has also been invited as a guest lecturer at various top universities. So welcome Sneha, it's great having you here with us. So yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Anjali. So it's great to be here and welcome to everyone that's joined the live session. And
yeah,
hopefully, I'm able to clear a couple of questions that you have on this industry.
sure. Yeah. So, Sneha, let's start with having a brief introduction of yours and your journey till Nielsen.
Sure. So I completed my engineering in electronics and communication, and I joined L&T. It was a campus placement. So I started working as a software engineer in the automotive domain, and and then I did my post graduation in data science and machine learning, and that's how I landed in Nielsen.
Great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I personally think it has been fantastic transition. So, let's start with understanding your particular passion. So, after completing your graduation, you started your career as a software engineer at L&T, right? So,
Yeah.
when and how did you figure out that you wanted to be a part of the data science industry? And how did you end up into data science?
Okay, that's a great question. So, I think for me, I was looking for a career change to something is to a domain which would enhance my skills, and so I was doing my research on various potential career opportunities that I could have, and so one fun fact: growing up, math was my favorite subject. I know a lot of people don't quite like it, but it was my favorite subject, and I think I started coding pretty early, maybe from eighth standard. So I've learned multiple languages, and coding was definitely my core strength. And when I was researching, when I was looking for career opportunities to enhance my interests and my skills, so I came across data science, which is basically a mix of statistics and coding. So that's how I decided to join data science.
Amazing. I mean, the fact that you mentioned maths, I mean, even if it's not a favorite subject of mine either, but then it's commendable that you were interested towards coding from eighth standard. I mean, that's amazing. So when we talk about career change or transition, but you still are at a very early stage of your own career, right? So what kind of challenges did you face in this particular transitioning from a software engineer to a data scientist? Also, are there any specific challenges and unique aspects of being a data scientist at Nielsen?
Yeah. So, okay, so to answer your first question, of course, there are challenges in any career transition that you do. And for
Yeah.
me, I was shifting from a completely different domain. So, I was in the automotive domain and I wanted to shift to data science. So, it was definitely challenging. And I think the most important thing was I pursued my post graduation along with my previous job. So, post my job, I would attend those classes and on the weekends. So it was 1 year of continuous hard work, and so it was pretty challenging to balance both. I think
Right.
balancing both is very difficult, but yeah. So you just gotta do it. You just gotta hang on, and you would
Yeah.
you would reach your goal. So if you're putting the hard work, you would definitely reach your goal.
Definitely. Also, coming to the second part,
Mm-hmm.
what are the kinds of specific challenges or, unique aspects of being a data scientist at Nielsen?
Of course. So at Nielsen, I think one thing that excited me was data science is their core mission. So, and we mostly work with media.
Okay.
I specifically work with the digital media. Like, I think every one of us here are definitely watching things on OTT platforms or on YouTube for that
Right.
fact. So, so when I work at Nielsen, I know what I'm doing. I know I can relate to it in real life, which is very exciting for me. But right, when you're doing something and you know that it's you know what it's doing in the real life, then you're more passionate towards it, and that gives you a lot of interest. So that's a very
Definitely.
interesting aspect here.
Definitely. So, like when we talk about, being a data scientist at a company like Nielsen, can you just tell for the audience knowledge, or, can you just tell everybody how was your interview process and how was that experience for you? Like, how many rounds were there? What all were the interviewers looking for? What were they focusing upon while hiring data scientists and everything?
Okay, so so I totally had, I think, 4 rounds of interview. So the
Okay.
first round was an online test, which had a couple of aptitude questions and I think two programming questions. And once you clear that, you go into your technical round. So in technical round, I think mostly the questions were on the skills that you've mentioned in your resume. So that could
Yeah.
be, so for me it was specifically on basics of Python, SQL, and machine learning concepts, and a couple of statistic concepts like there's mean, median, mode, there is set square, there are multiple statistical terms. And other than that, I also had a Tableau certification when I sat for my interview. So there were a couple of questions on that.
Right.
And I think the third round was a managerial round. Um, it was a discussion to, they just wanted, I think the
Yeah.
key aspect of that round was to understand why you are transitioning your career from a completely different domain. So
Yeah.
that was it, and the final round was a HR round.
Okay, great. So in total, there were 4 rounds. I mean, yeah,
Yes.
of course, it's not that easy. Understood. So,
Yeah.
for someone who wants to make a transition into data science, right? So, what are the necessary skills and qualifications that the companies look for while hiring, or what skills should definitely be on a aspiring data scientist's resume?
That's a great question. So I think there's a lot of confusion around that for, I think, specifically the freshers that want to get into this industry. So I
Right.
would say start with learning on database management system. It could be any SQL database that you want to learn and master it. And once you're done with that, I would suggest learning any one of the programming language. It could be Python or R. They use both in data science, and I think I would suggest Python more because I think it has a lot of scope these days, and it's
Right.
easy to learn. And um, yeah, and I think these are the mandatory ones. You can also explore into machine learning. You can explore into a couple of algorithms and have some hands-on experience on that.
Okay.
Other than that, a visualization tool is maybe not mandatory, but it's an additional point, right? So you
Right.
could either learn Tableau or Power BI, which is definitely a attractive point on your resume for being a data scientist.
Great. I mean, that's a lot, but then I think these are all the necessary things that one needs to know, right? So also for the audience who are looking to, learn all these particular skills, SQL, Python, R, data visualization, Tableau, we do have a data science certification program, and if you definitely want to be a part of it, you can just, go with the link in the description box, and you will get to know all the particular details about the same. So, Sneha, coming to my next question, right? So, there are many, like, projects and everything that data scientists definitely have hands on, right? So, are there any particular projects or tools that one needs to have a hands on to become a data scientist? Or, like any top companies per se, like what do data scientists at Nielsen also, typically use in their day to day work when it comes to the tools?
Okay. To answer your first question, I think of course there are no particular projects that you can do, but there are multiple data sets that are available on the net, so you can analyze those. I think data cleaning is a key aspect, so you can um, work on those. There are multiple data sets that you can download from Kaggle, and there are multiple other websites, right? So
Right.
I think, more than projects, I think you should concentrate on getting your basics strong
Yeah.
in SQL and Python. And
Right.
to answer your second question, in our day-to-day work, we use Databricks, we use Visual Studio Code or Spider sometimes, and of course, we use Tableau here.
So even if you are a top data scientist at a company like Nielsen, Tableau, Power BI, everything will come in handy, right? So
Yeah.
anywhere you go, it's a must. Understood. So I think it's something that everybody in the audience would be very intrigued to know that is it just for the time being that we have to learn and it will not be applicable later on, or is it something an ever going thing, right? That you always have to learn and improve upon, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, talking about improving and learning, so you being a data scientist and you being a person who already transitioned into it, how important is it in the area of data science and analytics as well to keep on learning and improving your skills?
Okay, that's a great question. So that's extremely important. So you gotta in any career for that matter, you have to keep upskilling yourself and be
Right,
open to learning. Don't get comfortable in what you're doing. Keep learning your skills. That might make your lives better or easy, make your work easier, or
right,
it also improves the quality of your work, right? When you're
absolutely,
learning, and in data science specifically, there are multiple things that keeps getting developed. There are multiple algorithms, and there are so many concepts. Of course, when you're entering into this field, you cannot learn everything. It is vast, right? So you just gotta keep learning, and just keep upskilling yourself, because as you know now, considering the recession and job cuttings and all
right.
those stuff, so you just gotta be ready for it. You cannot be scared of it. You have to keep upskilling yourselves, and you know be ready for everything.
Right. So even if it's the layoffs or any other situation, improving yourself is a must, right? Like
Yeah.
anywhere you go, you have to keep on improving. It's not, you cannot stop it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So when we talk about, learning and improving, so how important is it to, have a master's degree, or is master's degree actually required to, transition into data science, or is it just for your particular upgrade or, betterment?
Okay. It is, I wouldn't say it is mandatory, but having certifications or any degree in this field is definitely an additional point. And these days, there are multiple resources, right? You don't have to always go the traditional way of pursuing your master's. There are so many online platforms, there are so many distance learning options that you have these days.
Right.
Um, so you can always pursue these skills from the comfort of your home.
Right. So absolutely correct, because Newton School, we as Newton School do provide, a data science certification program, right at the comfort of your home. So yeah, as you said, it's not always required, to go the traditional way. So there are many things available right now in the market and in the industry right now. So, as we talk about, so many sources of info in the data science industry and, how to start. So, did you at your initial time had any mentors or important people in your, work life or maybe personal life who helped you or gave you ideas to transition into data science?
Of course. So there are a lot of people around me who are in this field, but I would suggest do your own research. So you should be sure about the field that you're taking in. So once you do your research, connect with people who are working in the same field, so that like-minded people, you can have great conversations. You can understand their day-to-day work and how it has an impact in the real world, and that would definitely give you an idea on how to if that is the right career path for you. So I definitely did connect with a few people who are in the same field, and I got to clear my questions, and that gave me a clear idea on I am choosing the right path.
Right. So, I think when we talk about mentors, having a particular mentor who can help you and guide you towards that path is very much important, right? Because I mean, of course, self resources are there. you can self learn, but then if there is one particular person who can help you to that path, I think it's a great add on, right? So
True,
that's the
true.
particular thing. So you also mentioned that you used to love coding since class 8th, right? So now, when you were, a software engineer, of course, you had to work upon a lot on coding, right? But now, since you're working on data, like working as a data scientist, how much coding is it actually involved on ground? Like, is there very much coding or minimal coding, or do you still miss coding? जैसे आप करते थे पहले?
No, I think coding is still the same. So even in my in my previous role, I did work on a couple of projects for Python. So I did have the basics of Python there, and so that was an additional point for me when I did my post graduation and learned Python. I already had an idea on the language, which was definitely an additional point. And right now, I would say I still code. So instead of doing the manual task, you can automate it using Python. That reduces your efforts and your time. So that is a great point, right? You don't want to affect the quality of your work, but if you want to do it faster, you can of course automate it with Python. And I code almost every day now, so it's that has not changed. So uh, I think I made the right choice in that case. Yeah.
Right. So, when we talk about, data science being such a vast field with so many opportunities, I mean, data science is one of the highest paying jobs. Data science is one of the highest paying like industry, as well as a highest like a highly demanded field right now in the industry, right? So, can you just for the audience just explain, what is data science? Like just in brief, like what is data science? What actually do data scientists do in your day-to-day job? Like you as a data scientist, what do you do in your day-to-day job?
Okay. So I'll just give you a small story. So back when I was researching on which field I should take, so I remember one day I was just having a conversation with one of my friend about a product, and it was in person. Okay, so and in a few minutes when I started scrolling through my social media account, I saw that they were there. I was seeing related. Ads to that product that we spoke about, which was very intriguing. So I did do my research on how this is happening, and that is when data science came into the picture. So I think everyone has seen data science work, but probably you just don't know that it's data science behind that. And
Right.
sorry, what was your second question?
Yeah, so I was asking that, like, what is exactly data science and what do data scientists do in their day-to-day job? And you, as a data scientist at Nielsen, what is your day-to-day job? Like, what are the
Okay.
responsibilities that you take up? Yeah.
Right. So, in my day-to-day job, we do a lot of automations. There are multiple reports that we generate based on the various OTT platforms usage and the ads that run on them. And so, based on that, we definitely try to automate and reduce the time that we are spending on it, that we would be spending on it manually. But other than
Right.
that, we definitely visualize a lot of data for our business leaders to so that they can take prior decisions to which could be a benefit for the company. So these are some of the day-to-day responsibilities that we take.
Amazing. So, when we talk about data science and it being a vast industry, right? One of the highest paying jobs or one of the highest in demand field, right? So, can you tell us what are the kinds of sectors that are, available to the aspiring data scientist or for somebody who wants to get into data science? Because as we know, data scientist can work into actually every domain, right? Be it healthcare, be it finance, be it retail. You're working at Nielsen. So can you just tell about the diversity and vast opportunities in data science?
Of course. So, okay, so every industry generates data, right?
Yeah.
Uh, there's data everywhere, and if you are using that data for the benefit of your company or for your business, then you are ready for the future. You are taking data driven decisions. So I think it's vast. You can use it in so many fields. Like we use it in media. You could, as you mentioned, you can use it in finance, like stock markets. You can.
Right.
There are multiple fields, and coming to the various roles that you can take up in data science, you can take up as a data analyst, data scientist, of course, and data engineer, machine learning engineer, or a business analyst. These are a couple of career options that you have once you get into this field.
Amazing. I mean, of course, like as we know, data science is not limited to one particular thing, right? It's a vast industry. So it being a vast industry, I think not just people from the tech background, but I think from every background, people are now very much intrigued and inclined towards data science. So is it possible for a non-tech working professional to switch to data science and then land a good opportunity like in a company like Nielsen or any other top company, for example? And can they transition with the less practical knowledge? So how is it about it?
Okay. It's definitely not impossible for a non-tech background to get into this field, but I think you need to put in a lot of efforts into learning the skills that I've just mentioned some time back.
Right.
And once you are ready with your basics, I think you definitely would start with your hands-on experience. Like, let's say you're learning SQL, for that matter, to begin with. Then you would definitely have some hands-on experience on that, and you can do some personal projects on that to showcase your skill. So that could,
Right.
again, same thing for Python. So you're learning Python, you should definitely have hands-on experience. uh, Practical experience is additional point, but if you are able to showcase your skill through the personal projects that you do, then
Right.
I think anyone can land a job in data science.
Amazing. So I think, as you mentioned, working on projects is a must, right, in the initial part of your career as well, and later on as well, right? So, what was your first, or one of the most interesting projects at working at Nielsen or your previous company as well? So, what was your first project or one of the most interesting projects that you worked upon?
Okay, so one of the interesting projects that I'm currently working on in at Nielsen is, so we developing a product which would analyze the how an advertisement is performing. So there are, our clients could be an advertising agency or the product owner itself. So we have developed a product which would analyze on how well the ad is performing and how it is being converted into sales. So that is something that I'm extremely interested in, and I think it's one of the exciting projects that I've worked on in my career.
Amazing. I mean, the importance of projects is not gonna end. I mean, it is something that you will have to show and like for your particular growth as well. I mean, having projects will actually give you a practical exposure about that, right? So,
True, yeah.
of course, now not talking about the monetary or compensation or the salary part, which of course everybody wants to know about data scientists, right? So, of course, we'll not be asking your salary, but then for someone at an entry level or for someone with your level of experience, what can be the salary band that a person can expect or crack if they want to become a data scientist or if they get into any top companies or just being a data scientist as well?
Okay. So, yeah, as you told, I think everyone's super interested in this. So, I think at an entry level, you can expect around 7 to 9 lakhs. So, this is based on the research I've done through the various sites that you have these days, and
Right.
um, of course, it grows exponentially once you have good enough experience in this field.
Amazing. I mean, of course, it's true, as we hear that data science is one of the highest paying jobs, and it's true. So also for everybody who is having any kinds of doubts and queries, please add your questions in the comment section. We are just about to take up all the Q&A now, so you can just put up your questions in the chat box. So, coming towards the end of the live, and coming towards the end questions. So, can you tell me, like, if you had to give any advice to the aspiring data scientists who want to, transition into data science, or who are stuck at, their particular career growth or anything that sort of, what advice would you give to the aspiring data scientist?
Of course. So I think I would start with do your own research. Don't just do it because this role is, I think it's hyped up a lot now. But don't just do it because everyone's doing it. But do your research. Make sure that you are interested in getting into this career, especially for freshers. Um, don't just do it because everyone's going there and it's a high paying job, but you ensure that it is the right path for you. And I think for a data scientist, I would suggest be strong at your basics. Don't try to learn everything, but whatever you are learning, make sure that your basics are strong, and you are able to answer any questions. If in the interviews, if it's on your basics of any skill, I would suggest mainly concentrate on SQL and Python. So if you're good at that, then I think you can of course get into this field.
Great. Thank you so much, Sneha. I think that was, in a simple language, that was the roadmap to become a data scientist, I would say. So, I think currently, since there's a lot of hype about data science in the industry right now, there's still some issues that, the young generation or the aspiring data scientists are not able to meet with the required demand, right? Either because of the lack of skills, or maybe lack of relevant experience. So still right now, even though there is a high demand, people are not able to crack it. So can you tell ki what can be some of the ways that people can get hands-on experience, or they can actually match that particular requirement by the industry?
Right. So I think these days, as we discussed earlier, there are multiple sources for you to learn, right? So
Right.
you just gotta keep learning, and I'm again mentioning that your basics, you have to be strong, because if you are strong at your basics, as you upskill going down the lane, you would definitely be able to crack any interview. So
Right.
so yeah, learn one skill at a time and be confident in that.
Right. So, thank you so much, Sneha, for giving, I mean, basically every information that every person could get upon data science, being, in the earlier career itself. So, since I think you yourself have not started a long back, but then you are still kind of, new in this particular field. So, I think people who are the aspiring data scientists, or who are looking to get into the field, they can get knowledge from a person who's right now doing it and who has a fresh experience, right? So I think it was great for people to to learn about that, to know about that through you. So let's just quickly take up the questions from the audience as well.
Yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, so we have Shilpa, who's asking, is it easy for someone to switch career who is not interested in mathematics and start learning data science?
Okay. So, okay, see, so data science is a mix of all these, right? Even if
Right.
uh, even if you're not interested, maybe the basics, I think everyone would be aware of it. So you can start. So you don't have to be interested in it, but if you are interested, that is a good point, because in your everyday role, you would definitely use all of these mathematical concepts. So but it's great to start learning data science even if you're not interested in it.
Great. So, I mean, just like Shilpa, even if, like just like Shilpa, even I am not very much interested in mathematics, but then it's not impossible, right? You can still like grow upon it, and, you can still learn it. So I don't
Yeah,
think it is
yeah,
that difficult as you mentioned.
correct, yeah.
So we also have Ranita, who's asking, can a working professional become a data scientist? I think that's one of the, very highly asked questions amongst our audience.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking at one right now. So I also was a working professional while I started my post graduation, and I did it along with my previous job, and then I shifted once I completed my course. So yes, it is definitely possible.
So, how difficult was it to manage the time? Was it very difficult, or was it manageable?
It was definitely challenging because that means you're putting in extra efforts after your regular job. Of course, you would be, some days you would be tired after your job, but it was definitely challenging. But with the support of your family and friends, I think you can definitely do it.
Great. I mean, it's all about your hard work and the kind of efforts you want to put, right? So
Right? Yeah.
nothing is impossible. So
Yeah.
we also have Namrata, who's asking, can a non-engineering person pursue data science? I mean, you of course told about that, but if you could again, explain for the audience as well.
Okay. So again, so it is definitely possible, but you got to start learning all these skills that we've just discussed about. So if you are ready to put in the efforts and hard work to learn these skills, of course you can pursue data science.
Great. So, of course, it's not impossible, right?
Yeah.
So, we have one more question. Amit is asking data scientist jobs after completing PhD in electronic communication engineering from IIT. So, I think he's asking after completing the engineering in electronics and communication. So, what are the kind of opportunities that one can get in data science? So, could you just elaborate upon that as well?
Okay, so I also did my engineering in the same field. So
Okay.
post that, of course, we don't see it's possible for anyone, right? You just have to start learning the skills that you would be using. So I think math, any engineering student would have learned these basic mathematical concepts that I'm talking about. So you're already halfway there. So other than that, you just have to start learning on any one of the database. It could be SQL or MySQL, there's Microsoft Server, SQL Management Studio. There are multiple things. So one of those, and again, one of the programming languages, either Python or R, then of course, you can get a job in data science.
Definitely. So, just to add on to that as well, as I mentioned in prior as well, for anybody who wants to, get into data science, who wants to learn Python, SQL, or all the top skills or the tools right now, right? You can directly check the link in the description box. We do have a, professional certification program in data science. You can go over there. You can get all the information, and you can definitely, get into that. So we also have one more question from Atul Das, who's asking, "Hi, I don't have any background in data science. So can I shift to data science field without having any knowledge on coding and analytical skills?"
Okay, so of course this goes back to non-technical background, right? So
Right.
if you but if you're not interested in learning any coding language, then of course there's you can go for business analyst role. I've mentioned a couple of roles that are a possible career opportunity in data science, right? So if you are not interested in coding, then of course business analyst is a great option for you. But if you want to learn any coding or these analytic skills as mentioned, then you can definitely you can definitely make that shift. It's not impossible. So
Right. So we'll just quickly take few more questions. Anybody who's having any sort of questions left, please ask in the comment section. We will definitely take it up right now. So I'll just take few more questions, Neha.
sure.
Uh, yeah. So we have Lucia who's asking, I'm thinking of enrolling in web development, but data science also attracts me a lot. I'm having a serious problem to decide. As a beginner, what would you advise? Like, which one would you advise?
Okay, so I don't have much of experience on the web development side, but of course, I think everyone has this confusion on which career path is the right one for you, right? So I would suggest do your research on the skills that are required for both the roles. And you can also connect with a few people who are in the web development field as well as the data science field. And I think it would be your call at the end on which do you think would be better. Of course, I would suggest data science because uh, it is vast, right? There are so many career opportunities. And as you know, we are moving towards AI. Uh, we've already
Right.
taken our step, right? So,
Yeah.
so data science is again a part of AI. And, uh, if you do choose data science, then I think it would be great for your career.
Great. Of course. So we'll just quickly take a few more, just one more question. So we have Namrata again, who's asking that should I take up old school method of learning or online platforms would help me in taking up the course?
Okay, so I think that totally depends on how you would like to approach it. Um, the see right now, since you know we have so many platforms that are available online, so you can of course learn it, and you can learn any skill online, right? So
Right.
there are multiple schools, like Newton School also provides an uh,
Yeah.
course on data science. And if you would go for the old school method, I think that if you are a working professional, that would require you to um, maybe take a break from work and then
Yeah.
pursue your course and then shift your career. But since we all are moving towards the digital world, you can of course choose the online platform where you can upskill at the comfort of your home. You don't have to leave your current role and take a break. You can always you can always pursue the skills that you require.
Right, absolutely. So I think with the online being, in the picture right now, it's more comfortable and easy, to prepare or to upskill or to shift, rather than the old school method being, quite rigid on your schedule actually. So we'll just take one last question. I mean, people are
Sure.
asking a lot of questions. I know data science has a lot of scope. I just want to confirm, will it help me to prepare for interviews, in specific learning will I be gaining from the course? So I think what the particular person wants to ask is that if we have to prepare for interview, like if we have to prepare for interviews, do the online courses also help, in that preparation also? Like for Newton School, we do provide, help in online, like the interview preparation. But what do you think? How useful the online courses are for interview preparation?
Of course. So I would say there is the only difference between the traditional way of learning and the online platform is the way you are learning. But I think the skills that you pursue at the end of both are pretty much the same. So of course you do an online course, though that information definitely helps you with preparing for interviews. And as Anjali mentioned, Newton School also provides training for attending the
The
interview. So that's definitely a
Yeah.
plus point. So you can go for it.
Great. Thank you so much, Sneha, for clarifying all the doubts and helping the audience as well as me with all the information about data science. It was great, having this particular conversation with you. So, just to wind this live up, I would just want to mention it again for anybody who's looking forward to to learn data science or for the interview preparation or how to crack data scientist jobs or how to learn the particular skills like Python, SQL, R. You can just check the link in the description box and you can just register from there. You will be getting all the information. So thank you so much, Sneha. It was great talking to you, like for my knowledge, for everybody's knowledge. So thank you so much for coming, and we definitely look forward to more such interaction with you.
Yeah, thanks, Anjali. Looking forward for
Thank,
that.
great. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.